All right, so 46% of retirees reported that they had less financial problems than they thought they would. And 19% said they had more financial problems than they thought they would. So that's actually pretty good. 46% of the people reporting that things were going good financially leaves them to a good retirement, stress-free retirement, and all that. So here's a few other things that kind of rose my eyebrows a little bit. 78% of retirees said they had more income than they actually needed, with 19% reporting they had less retirement income than they needed. So, the 19 less, that's kind of, glass half empty, half full. But 78% of people reporting that they had, more money than they actually needed, that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. So let's take a look at some of these others. So 52% of retirees reported that they simply spent less than they needed to, which is a good thing. And by spending less, they didn't need to work with financial advisors. They didn't need to do, detailed budgeting, and it worked out well for them. So that kind of raised my eyebrows. And 52% of people said, we'll just spend less, not a problem. Okay, so just pause for a moment. If you're getting anything out of this, I'd appreciate it if you go ahead and hit that like button down there. But remember, I am not a professional. I'm not a financial advisor. So this is not financial advice. Seek out a fiduciary, fee-only financial advisor to get specific advice for your retirement. Okay, so moving on. Retirees anticipated spending 70% of their time traveling, with family and friends and doing activities and exercising and all that stuff. They anticipated spending 70% of their time doing that. Well, in reality, what's happening is 83% of retirees' time is spent in front of the TV. Come on, guys, we got to do better than that. We really do. 83% of your time spent in front of the TV. You got to have activities. You got to have something to keep your cognitive abilities moving and functioning. You got to spend time with the people you love. And that is huge in retirement, is staying active in your loved ones' lives. So let's get off the couch, get out from in front of the TV, let's do some exercising, let's go out, let's visit our grandkids, let's spend time with our families, and let's get this thing rolling in the right direction. So in summary, yes, pre-retirees do have higher expectations for retirement than what is actually happening once they do retire. And that's with anything. It's like going on vacation. You're always gonna, your expectations are always gonna be higher than what it actually is when you do that function or that activity. So that doesn't surprise me a whole lot. But my personal experience, other than the brain injury that I'm having right now that's kind of taken away my retirement for a few months, things have been really good, and it's met every expectation that I've had personally. It is essential to work on both your financial and your physical health prior to retirement. You need to make sure that when you retire, if you can, now that I realize that there's a lot of people who get forced into retirement due to either financial or physical things that come up. But if you can, it's best to go into retirement in the best financial and physical shape that you can. So keep that in mind in your pre-retirement. And happier retirees tend to spend a lot more time doing activities that they like to do. Things like golfing, pickleball, activities that get them out of the house, get them out from in front of the TV. They, tend to spend more time with their loved ones and their families. And just overall, they spend more time outside the house than they do in front of the television. So I think that is a big takeaway for retirees. And something also to think about is when you're going to retire is where you're going to retire. If you're thinking about retiring in another state or someplace that's you're not going to have your family around, you're going to need to fill your time with other activities. So you need to take a look at where you're going to live and make sure there's going to be plenty of things for you to do. And the last one, kind of in contrast to most retirees right now, pre-retirees don't look at retirement as the end of work. They figure that they will probably have to bridge that gap, that financial gap, with some sort of income that they need to help out in retirement. In a way, it's kind of sad, but in another way, it's not a bad thing because that's going to keep you engaged in something and keep you out from in front of that television. And I can't stress that enough, that you got to keep your cognitive abilities sharp and keep everything going. So if you've gotten anything out of this, go ahead, subscribe, like, and watch this video next.